and I hope you will enjoy the Gangeya Student Chapter organized Biophysics Week. So
Yes.
let's move to our next student talk uh, by Apurva Sarkar from IISER. So Apurva, can you hear me? You
Yeah,
can
I can hear you.
you can turn on your video and share your screen actually.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's visible. So you will be given 12 minutes
My
of
screen
talk.
is visible?
Yeah, your screen is not visible yet.
Okay. Can you? My screen is visible now, right?
Yes, yes, it's visible. It's presenting. Yes, now it is visible, but no slide has been. Right now the slide is visible. Yes, make
Okay.
it full screen.
This is the in full screen. Can you see?
Oh, okay. Maybe it will come later. It's in still in PowerPoint. It's not
Yeah, yeah.
in slideshow mode.
Uh, you can see the slide changing.
No, no. It's just the first slide, the title slide, in a PowerPoint. It's not in a slideshow mode.
Present your screen in entire screen mode.
Yes, yes. Right now it
Tap
is
a
changing.
tab. Then it
Okay.
will come up.
Let's
Okay.
see. Now you can see my screen.
Yes, it is presenting. Wait.
Yes,
Yes,
it is
yes,
full
yes.
screen mode.
Slide
Yeah,
is changing.
hide that part. Yes,
Okay, okay.
yes, it's changing also. Okay, best of
And,
luck. You
hmm.
will be given 12 minutes for the talk and 3 minutes for question answer.
Okay. Okay.
All the
First,
best.
I'd like to thank the organizer for organizing such a great event and giving me the opportunity to present my talk here. The title of my talk goes as the efficiency of dynamic microtubules for centrosome relocation during ice formation in T cell. Now, the T cell are the most important cell line in the human body. It constantly protects us by defending against the virus infected cell. In this schematic, these are the T cell and these are the virus infected cell. While wandering around the cellular environment, when a T cell come in contact with the virus infected cell, they immediately make a contact with make a contact zone with the virus infected cell. This is called the immunological synapse. And after the formation of the IS, the microtubule of the T cell gets connected to this synapse through molecular motor. Now, the efficiency of this bond formation between the microtubule and the IS determines how efficiently the target cell will be killed by the T cell. Now, this engagement of this microtubule with the immunological synapse can be possible by two ways. The microtubule can glide along the cell surface and capture the target, and it can also capture the target directly. Now, once the bond is formation between the microtubule and the immunological synapse, then the simultaneous effect of the dynein pulling to the microtubule tip and the microtubule polymerization results in a translocation of this microtubule organizing center or the centrosome towards the immunological synapse. After the centrosome is the immunological synapse, the vesicles are being carried out by the molecular motor are accumulated near the centrosomes, which then make a hole at the immunological synapse and kill the target cell by secreting the cytotoxic contents. These are some microscopic images of the cytoskeletal network in the T cell. This is the target cell, and this arrow dotted arrow, and here is the red arrow, and here is the white arrow determines the position of the immunological synapse. It appeared that after the junction is formed, the microtubules projecting out from the centrosomes appear to glide along the cell surface and capture the immunological synapse. Now, this microtubule being very interesting in nature because of its inherent microtubule dynamic dynamic instability. In the growth phase, microtubule growth with a constant velocity. Then after a catastrophe, microtubule shrinks with a velocity vs. Now in this picture there is no we did not consider any finite rescue frequency. In the presence of finite rescue frequency, a shrinking microtubule can goes back again in its shrinking phase. Now, to address the efficiency of the dynamic microtubules to find the immunological synapse, we developed a simple, very simple numerical model by incorporating the relevant component of the cell. Here, the microtubules are nucleating from the centrosomes, exploring the three-dimensional cellular volume, looking for the target cell. The microtubule dynamics are being simulated by 4 parameters: growth velocity, shrinkage velocity, catastrophe frequency, and rescue frequency. In our model, we choose the rescue frequency to be 0 because in presence of the rescue frequency, there is chances that the microtubule nucleic in the wrong direction would repeatedly start searching in this direction, which would eventually increase the capture time. So in addition to this numerical simulation, we also formulated a mathematical representation for to estimate the heuristic search time. We first start by considering a single searching microtubule. Now for the single searching microtubule, one can easily write down the heuristic search time as a function of these quantities. Now the first quantities comes, let's say the microtubules starting to search and capture the microtubule by first attempts with the probability PC, and with the successful average duration of capture TS, then this first term, and the second term is comes, let's say the microtubule attempts to fail to capture the target with a probability 1 minus PC, then in next attempt it captured the target with a probability PC. Now here, this is the successful average duration of search time. This is the unsuccessful duration of time. Now we find that with if the target is small, then in the limit PC less than 1, T average is just a function of TU and PC. Now to use the average duration of unsuccessful size, which is a known quantity and can be easily determined from this microtubule dynamic instability parameter. Now we need to only find out the capture probability. So if we can find out the capture probability, then we could easily calculate the average search time. Now, generalizing the model to n number of microtubules, one can easily show that the capture probability can be written in a form 1 minus PC to the power n. Now, in the limit PC less than 1, neglecting all the higher order term, we can write that this is just n times the probability for a single microtubule capture probability. This is the schematic of our theoretical the model. Here, this is the target, and O dash determines the position of the M2C. Now we constructed the spherical loon. This is the spherical loon associated with the target. This is being constructed by considering 2 great cycle passing through the edges of the circular target. Now it is one can easily see that the capture, for a successful capture, the microtubule needs to satisfy 2 conditions. It needs to nucleate in a direction so that it can fall in within this loop, and the next task is to survive. Microtubule needs to survive before the target is reached. That is, the microtubule need not get any get any catastrophe because the target is reached for a successful capture. So the capture probability is composed of 2 terms, that is the P direction, which is the directional probability, and the probability of no catastrophe. Now P direction can also be a combination of 2 probabilities, P theta and P phi. Now P theta, now let's say the microtubule is nucleated within an angle theta and d theta, then the P theta is d theta by theta effective. Theta effective is this angle A, O prime, and U. If the microtubule nucleates at an angle greater than this angle, then those growth of those microtubules will be constricted constant by the nucleus. So here the allowed angle for the microtubule nucleation is A, O prime, and U. And here the angle A is atho. Now P no probability of no catastrophe can be denoted as an exponential distribution. This where x is the distance up to which the microtubule needs to traverse to reach the target. Now it is also to be remembered that for to have a successful capture, the capture probability can be a combination of can be a sum of 2 probabilities. The probability is due to the grazing microtubule, that means let's say the microtubule nucleates and graze along the cell surface. For this microtubule, there is a probability contribution comes, that is for the grazing microtubule, and the P direct capture. Let's say the target is located here. then there is also a probability that the microtubule can also capture the target directly. So in such cases, we need to consider the p direct capture probability. But for this specific configuration of the target, the only way to capture the target is to graze along the cell surface. So in this case, the p direction is 0. You can always see that to capture the target here is two possible ways the microtubule can capture the target. Microtubules can travel along this spherical loop and capture the target, and it can also travel along this opposite spherical loop and travel along this line by passing through the opposite pole. So so while estimating the average search time, we need to consider all this contribution of the capture probability very seriously. Now here we plot the average search time as a function of the angle position of the target theta d. Now very interestingly, you find that when the target is at the proximal pole of the surface and at the distal pole, then the search time is minimum. And for the intermediate position of the target, the search time is maximum. Now when the target is located at the proximal pole, the search time is minimum because the distance between the target and the MTC is less. So microtubule needs to travel a less distance to capture the target. Here, hence it reduces the search time. But for the intermediate position of the target, why there is a maximum to find out the region, we can get it from this two picture. Now here for the same size of the target, we place the target in two different positions. One is at the near the equatorial position, and another one is the proximal to the distal pole. So we find that for the same position, this same target, different position dictates different area of the spherical loan. Now for the small spherical loan, it always difficult for the microtubule to nucleate in a direction so that it can fall within this loop. So the capture probability become very less, and which would eventually increase the search time. Now let's consider the case when the target is at the distal pole. Now when the target is at the distal pole, there is no need for the microtubule to travel through a specific loop, because for this specific position of the target, microtubule nucleate at any angle can go through this pole if it doesn't get any catastrophe.
Apurva, you have 2 minutes to talk
Okay.
from now. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now to analyze the variation of the average search time as a function of number of microtubules, we plot the average search time as a function of target, and we angle theta. We see that with increasing the number of microtubules, the capture time get decreased. But what we find that with increasing the number of microtubules, the analytical curve, this is the solid line is from the analytical observation, and this is and these points are from the simulation. Analytical start deviating from the simulation results. So to find out the region, we again plot average search time as a function of the number of microtubule, and find that up to certain value of the number of microtubule, the average search time decrease. Then it starts saturating beyond a certain number of microtubules. Now we find that for after this region when this microtubule starts average search time starts saturating, for this value of the NPC, that is the at least one microtubule will capture the target, becomes greater than equal to 1. That means there is always a chance that a single microtubule will capture the target. So we get a saturation in the average search time. Here we plot the average search time as a function of the average microtubule length, and we plot it for different position of the target for the polar angle. This is for 60 degree for two different number of microtubules. This is for single microtubule. This is for 40 number of microtubules. So we find that there is optimization in the average search time as a function of average microtubule length. Now when the microtubule average length is very small, that means microtubule is very small, so it becomes difficult for the short microtubule to capture reach the target and capture it. So we get the average search time maximum. Now again for the large value of the average microtubule length, we also get that the average search time is maximum, because for this case the microtubule would elapse more time in searching in the wrong direction. So for the intermediate value of the microtubule average length, we get optimization in the average search time. Now with the increasing the number of microtubules, we see that for very large number of microtubules there is no optimization feature. That is because again the similar cause, the microtubule density becomes so large that at least one microtubule will capture the target to become increasing. Now strikingly, for the target position, when the target is located at the south pole, we did not get any optimization even if the number of microtubule is 1, because for this specific configuration of the target, the microtubule nucleated at any angle would go through this target if the average microtubule is not large. So a large average microtubule length would always try to decrease the average search time. Now to summarize our results, we find that when the target is located at the proximal, near the proximal pole, less than let's say between 0 and 10 degree, then for few number of microtubules, average search time is relatively small, and a minimum in the average search time is observed as a function of the average microtubule. For intermediate length, we find that the search time is relatively large, and also we get a minimum as a function of average microtubule length. For distal position of the target, we did not get any optimization in the average search time, and the average search time is small. For many microtubules, we see that the optimization features loss as a function of average microtubule length, but the search time is 0.2 minute for proximal position of the target, and for intermediate position of the target, that is less than equal to 2 minutes. For distal position, that is 1 minute. Now, I'd like to thank my supervisor, Professor Rajapal, and my collaborator, Professor Herewith, for their great inputs and valuable thoughts in my work. And I'd also like to thank my supervisor, lab mates Saptoshi, Mintu, and Pinaki, and my funding agency UGC, and my working institute ICS for creating such a good environment to research there. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you for your kind attention. Please go for any suggestion, comment, and critiques. Thank you.
Thank you, Apurva, for your talk. We will take questions. So, audience, if you have any question, you can put that in question answer session or section or in comment box. So, we will wait for question. Right now, no questions is there. Okay. So. Okay, so let's end the talk here. So thank you, Apurva, again.
Okay, thank you.